So you want to know more about Tyrande? Yeah, that's how it's pronounced. Do you like owls? Do you like accents? And do you like getting reworked every other moon cycle? Then Tyrande Whisperwind, High Priestess of Elune, is for you. Tyrande grew up in the city of Sylvanas, along with her childhood friends, the twins Malfurion and Illidan Stormrage. Each of them discovered a different calling. Malfurion came under the wing of the demigod Cenarius and was taught in the ways of the druid. So different from the elves' culture, one of arcane mastery. Illidan would also try to become a druid, but be rejected in further teachings because Cenarius could sense his lust for power. The ways of the druids was not meant for him. Tyrande found solace in the temples to the goddess Elune. Elune is the goddess of the moon, and the deity for a civilization that, in the beginning, was very much nocturnal. Tyrande was accepted into the Sisterhood of Elune. She wasn't all prayers though. She was adept with a bow and could hold her own in combat as well. Illidan and Malfurion were both very much enamored by Tyrande, but Malfurion never openly saw a contest between them. The Chad Malfurion! She was part of the resistance force of the War of the Ancients, a war that began tens of thousands of years ago as the Queen of the Night Elves, Azshara, betrayed her people to the demons of the Burning Legion and their master, the corrupt Titan, or somewhat godlike figure in the WoW universe, Zagreus. For her vanity, he promised to cleanse the world and create something worthy of her beauty. The Well of Eternity, a gigantic pool of arcane power, was being transformed into a portal to allow the demons through. Only the Highborn, her select elite, were safe inside the walls of the palace. Tyrande and the twins made allies with the dragons and worked on a plan to close the portal inside the Well of Eternity to stop the demon flow. Tyrande also discovered that Elune answered her calls for healing and aid much more than any other priestess out on the battlefield. She could heal wounds others could not. During one of these healing sessions with the refugees, she came into contact with the young elf Chandris Feathermoon, and she would later on become Tyrande's adoptive daughter and general of the Sentinel army. Word reached Tyrande that High Priestess Dejana was slain by the Legion, and on her deathbed she had named Tyrande as her successor because her bond with Elune was so powerful. This irked another priestess by the name of Maiev Shadowsong, who really just plain didn't like Tyrande. But she knew better than to argue her new position. Her brother Jared was much more chill though. Illidan made his way to the palace and deceived Azshara into thinking he was on the Highborn's side in order to rescue Tyrande, who had been taken prisoner during a fight. To prove his loyalty, he was made to accept a gift from Zagreus himself, sight beyond sight. Tyrande, meanwhile, had to fight off poison and dagger attacks by Azshara's jealous handmaiden, Lady Vashj. Vashj thought that Tyrande was gonna be Azshara's new favorite handmaiden, cause she crazy like that. She called upon Elune to aid her, and Elune wrapped her in a silvery glow that made her impervious to attacks and staved off her hunger for just a little bit. While she was alone and no one was watching her, an elf with golden hair instead of the usual silver, or blue or green, freed her from her bonds, Dathrema Sunstrider. She reunited with Illidan and Malfurion, and ended up closing the portal, after which the entire Pangaea of Kalimdor ripped apart in what is called the Sundering, forming the continents WoW has today. And where the once mighty Well of Eternity once flowed, now the raging whirlpool known as the Maelstrom was created. The entirety of the palace was sucked beneath the waters, and Azshara and her loyal Highborn were transfigured into a race called Naga by an ancient force imprisoned beneath the waves before even the elves started their empire. The survivors of the Sundering took refuge at Mount Hyjal, where, to everyone's horror, Illidan had managed to take with him water from the Well of Eternity and poured vials of well water into a lake to create a new fount of power. This greatly angered the remaining elves, as this type of magic was exactly what drew Zagreus to them in the first place. Malfurion thought his brother's lust for power too dangerous for them all, and declared that he should be imprisoned underneath Hyjal in one of the barrow dens. During his arrest, Illidan unleashed some of his power to attempt resistance, and killed several elves. Maiev thought of the arcane as something foul and horrid, and developed a burning hatred for Illidan, and volunteered to watch over his prison, and thus established the organization of the Watchers, or Wardens. The Highborn, who still practiced arcane magic instead of the druidic arts, would eventually be exiled and become the Blood Elves. The dragon aspects, the most powerful of them, gave the Night Elves a gift for their aid in saving the world. Queen of the Dragons, Alexstrasza the Lifebinder, aspect of life, planted an acorn within the waters of the newly created well, from which the world tree Nordrissel would grow. Nostormu, the Timeless One, aspect of time, would bless the tree to give the elves immortality as long as it stood. Ysera the Dreamer, aspect of dreams, or kind of more nature, linked Nordrissel to the Emerald Dream, an ethereal realm of how Azeroth could be, the way it was originally created. Through the tree, she would slowly rebuild the world. To maintain the Emerald Dream, she needed people to roam its eternal pathway. To sustain it, all druids agreed to sleep for centuries at a time and be linked to the Emerald Dream forever. And so, Malfurion would sleep. While in the stasis, Tyrande kind of became the de facto leader of the Night Elven people and rebuilt their society. From here on out, I'm gonna do a speedrunner mode because she's been alive for over 10,000 years and she has so much lore, it'd be like a 2-hour video, so here's the highlights. Meanwhile, the orcs had crossed over into Azeroth from their home world of Draenor and had begun moving into Ashenvale Forest. Grommash Hellscream, Garrosh's father, killed Cenarius in an encounter. Arthas, fallen prince of Lordaeron, former paladin turned Death Knight, helped summon the demon Archimonde, the Defiler, into the world with the aid of the Lich Kel'Thuzad. Archimonde was one of the 2 right-hand men of Sargeras. His goal was to reach Nordrissel and absorb its power to become a god. Tyrande knew she had to do something about Archimonde and his undead and demon forces, or everything would fall to corruption, and so she awakened Malfurion from his slumber and ventured to the Barrow-dens to free Illidan. He agreed to help, only for Tyrande.
We should free him, Furion. He would be the perfect ally against the undead and their demon masters.
No, Tyrande. That beast must never be set free.
But he is your brother.
Be that as it may, he is far too dangerous. I forbid it.
Only the goddess may forbid me anything. I will free Illidan whether you like it or not. The Legion has returned, Illidan. Your people have need of you once more.
Because I once cared for you, Tyrande, I will hunt down the demons. But I will never owe our people anything.
In order to save the uncorrupted parts of Felwood, a part of Ashenvale Forest, Illidan absorbed the powers of the skull of the orc warlock Gul'dan, who died years before on his quest for power, and it transformed him into a half-night elf, half-demon, and he used its power to slay the demon Tychondrius, responsible for the corruption in Felwood. Malfurion banished Illidan from the forest for this. Thanks, Malfurion. And Tyrande did nothing! She did nothing! Tyrande then came upon a camp of settlers and told the Outlanders to leave, but the prophet Medivh told her that she should work together with them if she wanted any chance of beating Archimonde. So she allied herself with the mage Jaina Proudmoore, who led her people across the sea to save them from the plague Arthas, Kel'Thuzad, and Mal'Ganis had unleashed upon the Eastern Kingdoms, and the shaman and orc war chief Thrall, who helped reunite the orcs into a fighting force and made allies with the Tauren and Trolls. Together they destroyed the Defiler and the World Tree. The tree would heal in time, but the blessing of the aspects was gone, and the elves were mortal once more. Because of Tyrande's decision to let Illidan free, many Watchers died during his escape, and Maiev told her that she should be locked up like Illidan, and for quite a while, a chase led by Maiev ensued to make sure Illidan is captured again. When at last they caught up with him, Illidan told Tyrande that he would always care for her, and Malfurion once again told him to get out of here. Illidan vanished through a portal, and Maiev, consumed with vengeance, followed him through it. The druid Fandral Stackhelm proposed that it was time for another world tree, and planted Teldrassil in the sea, on which the city of Darnassus would be built. After all of this, Malfurion was inexplicably lost inside the Emerald Dream for years, until the Cataclysm, when he and Ysera awakened. Meanwhile, Tyrande had offered the Worgen of Gilneas refuge at Darnassus, until Varian Bryn, King of Stormwind and High King of the Alliance, officially accepted them back into the Alliance once again. There's a whole thing with the Worgen curse and the Night Elves, and Tyrande is not really much in that story, so if you want to watch Greymane's video and get the lore on that, you can do that. Malfurion and Tyrande also officially married during the Cataclysm. In Mists of Pandaria, Varian finally got some anger management, and actually had to tell Tyrande to chill, because all she wanted to do was eradicate the orcs encroaching on a Pandaren temple because of all the batshit crazy stuff Garrosh did. He nuked Jaina's home of Theramore, Thanosing soldiers and civilians alike. He did a whole naval blockade of Teldrassil and an invasion for lumber into Ashenvale. He almost killed Anduin, etc, etc. She also helped liberate Orgrimmar, the Horde's capital, from Garrosh's reign. In Legion, Malfurion was captured by the Queen's former advisor, Savius, while on a quest to retrieve an artifact called the Tears of Elune. Savius used the Tears of Elune to corrupt Ysera, and Tyrande and her Sisters of the Moon were forced to put her to rest. She also vetoed the Nightborn joining the Alliance, elves who stayed behind during the Sundering in a protective barrier and helped fight the Burning Legion's third? I lost count. Invasion of Azeroth.
I thought our kin from Kalimdor would make obvious allies, but their arrogance and mistrust soon proved otherwise.
Arcanist Thalysra, I remember where your order stood in the War of the Ancients. How do we know you won't betray us and become the next Elisand, the next Ajara?
We do not intend to be slaves to the Nightwell. We seek to drive the Legion from Suramar and put an end to Elisand's oppression.
The Kaldori will fight to see the Legion defeated and the Nightwell destroyed. Beyond that, we shall see where Elune's wisdom guides us.
It would seem Elune's wisdom guided her away from the bond we once shared. So be it.
In Battle for Azeroth, she tried to hold off Sylvanas Windrunner, former Ranger General of Silver Moon City, home of the Blood Elves, now turned undead, because Arthas has no chill, from invading and capturing Darkshore, and her home and the Night Elf capital of Teldrassil. With Malfurion wounded in battle against Varrock Saurfang, an old-school veteran orc who just did his duty, she rescued her husband and fled the scene as Sylvanas does not know what capture enemy city means.
Burn it. Burn it!
There is no honor in this. They will come for us now. All of them!
She straight up roasted innocent elves. This led to her seeking nothing but vengeance against the monster that is Sylvanas Windrunner, and partook in an ancient ritual to transform her into the avatar of Elune's vengeance.
With ancient words, I invoke your most ruthless phase. With this offering, I demand to wear your darkest face. Elune, make me the instrument of your vengeance! Now we shall have justice. The Night Warrior lives within me.
Night Warrior. I'm sorry, Bliss. It's kind of a silly name. As the Night Warrior, she killed Sylvanas' simp, Nathanos Blightcaller, and made off into the Shadowlands, WoW's realm of death, to find and execute the Dark Lady.
We got to get these supplies to our soldiers by dawn.
What is it?
Tell her. We are coming. One someday. Do not take me yet.
He expects us to believe this tale. No single night elf could do all that.
I know one who could. Now it's getting interesting. Your power has grown.
Where is she?
With him, of course. In the darkest place. Along with every soul burned to ash in your precious tree.
Where is she?
Go on. Kill me. You'll send me right to my lady. Beyond the veil, she's shattered. Oh, Tyrande. High Priestess, Night Warrior. Completely powerless to stop the coming.
Living mortals were never intended to cross beyond the veil. Where you are going, you may be unable to return.
Rescue the others. The Banshee is mine to kill.
Tor Illidan Veranol!
And that's her lore for now. Tyrande is voiced by Eliza Gabrielli, and like other Warcraft 3 units, her lines are some direct references and parallels.
Anu Therador Mali, Ashrethoraman, Induli Rethad, Induli Rithad, Anu Dora, Anu Dora, Tor Ilisar Theranal. As the goddess wills. As the goddess wills. Immediately. Immediately. For Kalimdor. For Kalimdor. I heed the voice of Elune. I heed the voice of Elune.
She's the only night elf with a distinguishable accent, other than posh British, from the Nightborn or the Blood Elves. There's really no explanation as to why she talks like that.
Has anyone seen my cat? It feels like it's been years since I've seen her. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
In Warcraft 3, her unit would always ride her lightsaber, Ashala.
I miss having a millennia or two of girl time. You know, when women ran things here in Kalimdor, we experienced an era of peace. Then the men woke up, and now we face a new war every other year.
For 10,000 years, the women sentinels and wardens would watch over society and protect the night elves, as the druids, usually male night elves, slept in the Emerald Dream. Tyrande's natural hair color is dark blue with streaks of silver. Why is it green/teal in every version of her since 2009? Well, the devs gave an explanation. She likes to dye her hair. This model change in Cataclysm was prompted after a painting by Blizzard senior artist Wei. It shows her in a new dress, and the light makes her blue hair look more greenish. So instead of changing the hair color of the model, they just simply said she likes to dye her hair, and she's had this hair color ever since Cataclysm. Or maybe they just wanted to change it up, who knows. Tyrande was also the last classic racial leader to receive either new armor or a unique model. Tyrande's dance animation is derived from the dance steps of Beyoncé's Single Ladies. Tyrande, along with Lady Sylvanas Windrunner, is a consistently popular choice for female cosplayers. I feel like Alex is on that list too, I'm just saying. Cosplay is Professor Putricide, then at me. In Warcraft 3, Tyrande was an Amazonian character. In WoW, she was more of a priestess, with a robe and dress. So in HOTS, just like Anduin, they decided to mash it up and mash the Amazon with the more priest dress. Deep fried plantains are supposedly her guilty pleasure. So in the beginning, I joked about the number of reworks, which she hasn't had one in ages. But for a time, it wasn't clear what she's supposed to be. I'm not even kidding. She got more talent changes and reworks than Chromie. This is from memory, so don't roast me, okay? I'm just recalling here. But she started out as an okay healer. Her heal was actually Uther's heal. Casting it on a target heals you as well. And it had only one charge. It still gave cooldown reduction on your auto attacks, but it still kinda sucked. But that's not why you played OG Tyrande. She had the most fun build ever. I love this build. I wish it would make a comeback, but it was kind of toxic AF. She had double owl snipes. You could snipe Abathus from across the map, which was amazing and satisfying. Especially if you got the talent at level 20 that Shadowstalk reveals all enemies and you knew exactly where he was. So he'd constantly just have to be in base. Like, be in the actual invulnerability base or get just nuked. Then, she was turned into an assassin off healer. No, really, you had to draft a main healer, and then you'd go DPS build Tyrande, and be able to kill like an assassin, and heal on top of that. Shadowstalk was only for you. Didn't heal, but gave you stealth and movement speed, and gave you attack speed when you broke out of stealth. And it lasted indefinitely until you attacked. And now she's just the way she is now. Her trait is Hunter's Mark. Reveal a target enemy and lower their armor by 15 for 4 seconds, increasing all damage taken by 15%. Cannot be used on structures, but it can be used on bosses, making Tyrande a high pick, high ban on Battlefield of, what's it called, Eternity? The Immortal map. Because with a Vala, Raynor, or Zul'jin on the team and a Tyrande putting 15% increased damage on that Immortal, you're just gonna melt it. Melt that Immortal. At least the last time I played Ranked, which was ages ago. Because please fix Ranked, oh my god. It's a really powerful trait used at the right times, and it can especially help you out if you use it to amplify your own healing. Her Q is her heal, Light of Elune. Heal the target allied hero for 270 health. Light of Elune's cooldown is reduced by 1.5 seconds every time Tyrande hits an enemy with basic attack or damages an enemy hero. Stores up to 2 charges. Cooldown replenishes all charges at the same time. Pretty much does what it says. With Tyrande, you have to be careful when you do pick her that you can reliably auto-attack something. Stutter step. Learn to stutter step on Tyrande. It's important. You're gonna need to auto-attack, 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 because it becomes really frustrating to play Tyrande on a map where there aren't very many minion waves you can hit, or that you go up against a team where it's just not safe to auto-attack a lot of times. So you could have picked literally any other healer other than Tyrande. Her W is Sentinel. Send an owl across the battleground, revealing its path, dealing 120 damage to the first enemy hero hit, and revealing them for 5 seconds. This has no range, it's global range. You can send it out anywhere in the map. Usually this is gonna be camps, bosses, just to scout it out. Tyrande is really powerful at constantly sending out this owl to check for enemy position. But there's one thing Tyrandes always do, which kind of makes me go, ah? Like literally, like, huh? Why would you do that? We are in the process of taking a boss. It's at 50% or so health. We have a good idea of where the enemy team is on the map. Everything's going fine, and all of a sudden, I see that owl going out in the middle of nowhere. I'm just sending it out to check for the position. Yeah, but you're also kind of giving away our position. So with Sentinel, it's kind of a double-edged sword when you're taking camp and you're sending it out to check for position, because you're giving away your position when they see the owl going out. They can, you know, do some advanced mathematics. They can polynigmium that shit and figure out where the owl came from and hone in on your position. And if you're in the process of taking the boss, then they know for certain you are taking the boss. So I tend to not send out my Sentinel when we're in the process of taking a camp, because I just feel like it reveals your position to the enemy. Her E is Luna Flare. After 0.75 seconds, deal 150 damage and stun enemies in the target area for 0.75 seconds. It's pretty straightforward. The range isn't that great, but there is a talent that can improve that if you're really good at hitting your skill shots. And if you hit the god stun when they're all clumped up, it's the best feeling ever. It's good for follow-up. There used to be a time when you would see a lot of Tyrande Diablo or Tyrande Muradin, because you would just stun, 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 stun. It was horrible to play against. Her first heroic ability is Shadowstalk. Grant all allied heroes stealth for 10 seconds and heal them for 380 health over 10 seconds. Remaining stationary for at least 1.5 seconds while stealthed grants invisible. The heal over time persists even after stealth is broken. This is pretty much your Soraka ult. You heal globally across the map and grant stealth whether they need it or not. Usually I take this when there's an Illidan, a Butcher or something on the enemy team and they need to stick to their target to kill them. Getting that instant stealth just resets their auto attack so they can't auto attack you unless they have some kind of AoE going out. The stealth is also cool, I guess, if you want to do a coordinated gank. This talent used to be a meme talent. You would never ever pick Shadowstalk on Tyrande because it was so bad, and then they reworked Tyrande and then you would pick Shadowstalk and be a goddess for like 10 seconds. And then they reverted it back to stealth, but now it heals. So, I mean, little bit of history on this talent. Her second heroic is Starfall. Deal 92 damage per second and slow enemies by 20% in an area. Lasts 6 seconds. This damage counts towards the reset of your Q. So this is the ult that I take on control point maps, or when the enemy tends to clump up, like they do a combo thing and there's lots of targets. When everything goes down, I can just heal, 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 because every hero damaged in that area counts towards the cooldown reduction of my Q. Now for talent builds. I'm gonna admit I'm not the best Tyrande player. She was actually the first hero I ever played in Heroes of the Storm back in Alpha, and I really liked the owl build, but it's gone. It's gone! F's in chat. This build is what I prefer when I play Tyrande just for funsies, okay? I'm not a Tyrande main, sorry. I'm an Andy win for life. But if you're just starting to play Heroes of the Storm and you're just looking for a general build that works, sort of, hopefully for you, then that's cool, you know? Just don't roast me. I'm not HGC fucking Tyrande, okay? Level 1 honestly depends on how I'm feeling or who's on my team. If I have a lot of auto attackers or I'm playing with Alito on Phoenix or Vala, then True Shot Aura, granting that extra auto attack damage, is huge. Huge. Otherwise I go with Ranger because it's passive, it's low maintenance, and it kind of reminds me of ye oldie owl build. Lunar Blaze I only really take if they have a lot of ranged, so I can extend my E range and hopefully set up a lot of combos for my team. It's just, they ruined this talent because it used to stack indefinitely in damage. And I'm offended, personally, by that it just nerfed it like that. How dare you take my fun away? If the game went on long enough and you were a god with your skill shots, you could literally start one-shotting people. It was so fun. It was even more fun than the owl build. God! But you keep nerfing my fun. Jesus. For level 4, most of the time, like 70% of the time, I take Ilune's Chosen. If used at the right time and you are constantly auto-attacking something, it is a lifesaver and it can keep someone up for the longest time. They think they're gonna get a kill. Psych, you thought. At level 7, usually Caldore Resistance is the most picked, most effective. Granting someone 10 spell armor for 2 seconds, it's huge. If they have a Kael'thas with Pyroblast on the enemy team, you can just have 2 charges of your Q up, boom boom, and they'll take 20% less damage from that Pyroblast. If there's not a lot of magic damage on the enemy team, otherwise I just pick Moonlit Arrows. Because of your trait's cooldown, I don't think Huntress's Fury is that good. Moonlit Arrows is just basically all the time. It's up all the time. As long as you auto attack, you're just gonna get that cooldown reduction. Level 10 depends on the enemy team, but most of the time I pick Starfall. At level 13, 85 to 90% of the time I pick Harsh Moonlight, because the slow and damage dealt reduction is huge, especially if they have a Fed Butcher or someone like Valera, I don't know, one of those guys on your squishies. Plus the slow for securing kills. At level 16, it depends. If I'm already dominating the match, then I go for Darnashian Archery. If they have a lot of CC, then Celestial Attunement. Otherwise, I just take Empower to buff up Harsh Moonlight. At level 20, it depends kinda on what you took at level 1. If I took the E talent, then I would take Shooting Star for the free Lunar Flare. But otherwise, just Ice Blade Arrows, because the attack speed increase on Tyrande is insane. Anything attack speed related on Tyrande just means more healing. And also your auto attacks are now gonna reduce enemy heroes' damage dealt by 8%, stacking up to 5 times. Plus Harsh Moonlight damage reduction. Bruh. Bruh. The damage reduction of Harsh Moonlight and Ice Blade Arrows stack additively. If you want the enemy carry to do no damage, I'm just saying. But that's it for Tyrande. Thank you for watching. As always, more detailed stuff in the description below. Have some Tyrande clips. Enjoy, and I'll see you in the Nexus. No one's taking camp. Oh shit. Play yourself, son. Should I give you attack damage? You want attack damage?
What?
You need attack damage. You want a little attack damage.
I turned the music up. I'm tired of it. Tired of this. Going in. It's me! Phoenix Wing. Destroyer of Zerg. The hour of plasma light has come. Operation We Outie. Operation We So Outie! Hey, Fiend Traction!
Are you okay?
Run! Run from me!
Impressive.
Phoenix carry, I guess?
I'm not Phoenix, I'm Pete Traxian, Mom!
It's
It's
not a base
face!
mod.
Damn it.
Longest battle for the shrine ever, holy shit.
Is this still the first shot?
Yes!
Here we go! Oh, you.
My spell armor, beach!
Oh, if I die here because everyone's fucking around!
Quadruple kill, quintuple kill.
Did we turn around that bitch?
We sure did.
Can someone get this Protoss off me? Hello? Ah! You idiot! Ah!
Oh god, you're dead.
Yeah, but I killed Arceus. That's like... That's for 3 Lunars. So really, if you do the math, we're like 2 Lunars ahead.
3-0!
Victory. MVP.
Police 9/11 MVP.
I don't think that's a compliment.
I clicked the portal to try to save my ass.
Well, it's not yours to save. It's not your job.
Okay. I'll never retreat ever again.
Saving your ass is my job.
Good pyro though. Be it.
Double kill, triple kill.
Fiend Traxian!
I'm here, motherfucker. Ex-soldier first class, ready to beat Traxian, ready to go.
Oh my god. God! Fuck, I should. God! I hate myself. I hate life.
No, you gotta. Oh, what? Who bans white maid? Are you getting stream sniped?
I don't stream. I'll just have to YOLO it. I don't know if I can pick deck art, and I don't want to risk it.
That's not Thai, that's booty. You fucked up.
I'm sorry.
It's select.
I'm sorry.
Before their third goddamn ban.
Oy.
Oh, hey! I didn't lock in.
Save me! Where was the stun?
It was there.
Cool story, bruh. See how I turned that
You
around?
know,
See how I turned that around on you?
I could have played Anduin.
Yeah, then we would have lost by now.
Fish and the Manduin. Manduin comes out.
Don't say man when it comes out.
The field test has started.
Manduin!
No, it's just, you're so great.
Look at me, I'm the man now.
Like you fantasize about turning level 20 on Edge, and you turn into a man. I can see you like imagining you have facial hair or some shit. You have hair on
I
your
don't know,
chest.
if I was a guy, would I be clean shaven or would I sport like the best beard ever? Depends on my face, really.
Good, cool story, bro.
Do I have a good face?
What the max range flame thing? I'm taking a tower. Heal, heal.
God, you noob.
Heal, heal, heal.
Retreat is not weakness.
It has a cooldown.
It's good, yeah. Fuck off. My patience has a cooldown.
Pick a good talent. Pick a good talent.
It gives you more interest.
Why are you hunting? Why are you hunting? What would...
Why do you do that meme correctly? Why is that the only meme you do right now?
What do you mean?
Do you know any good tropes to look at?
I have no mouth. And I must scream.
What? That's a trope? Is that a trope, or is that just your current state of mind right now?
Both.
Well, I didn't tilt.
Because you weren't looking at TV tropes.
This is the end.
Dominance.
Okay, I've got my global.
To learn to pick ourselves up.
Jesus Christ! Boom! There we go.
Oh my god.
You're done.
What? How did that grab fail?
No, no, no.
What?
My was about this quest. This quest talent. What? No.
What?
What? The quest that I took at level 4, we used to be infinite stacking for infinite damage.
Battle is lost.
And now it's capped at 20. The lies!
Are you mad?
Yes! Because that was fun to stack up. And now it's
You're
cap.
so mad.
Oh my god. Okay, Tyrande ruined. No more double owl, no more infinite stacking. What's the point even? Throw me in the trash.
You will regret your impudence. Goddess grant you mercy, for I will not.